All right, this is part 2 of 10.7. So we're going to talk about, again, area of a sector of a circle. So the definition is the area between the arc and two radii of a circle. And the formula is the measure of RS, of arc RS, divided by 360 times pi r squared. So if we had a section of a circle between R and S, our goal is to find how much area that little piece is, kind of like a piece of pie or a slice of pizza. And we're going to use this formula. All right, so let's try out number 7. So our formula is measure of the arc divided by 360 times pi r squared. So we're going to start by plugging in the arc length, which is 225, divided by 360 times pi radius, which is 6 squared. Okay, so then from there, we're going to simplify the fraction. So 225 divided by 360 is 5/8. So I'm going to turn that into 5/8 times 6 times 6 is 36, so 36 pi. Okay, and then we're going to kind of, just like we did in the last section, multiply 5/8 and 36 together. So that's going to be 22.5, which as a fraction is 45 halves. So we have 45 halves pi, and then it is miles squared. Okay, so let's try another one. I'm going to start by copying the equation down. The measure of the arc divided by 360 times pi r squared. Okay, so first thing I'm going to plug in the arc. The angle measure, so 45 divided by 360 times pi radius squared. Okay, so I took that 45, plugged it in, took the 2 inches, plugged it in. Okay, now I'm going to start by simplifying this 45 over 360. Turn that into a fraction, so 1 should be about 1/8. So we get 1/8 times 2 squared is 4, so 4 pi. Okay, and then we combine 1/8 and 4. So 1/8 times 4, turn that into a fraction, is half. So we have half pi inches squared. Okay, so you'll notice that all of our answers have pi in it and a fraction. We don't have any decimals, and we want to keep it that way. Okay, let's try out number 9. So I'm going to start by copying the formula down. So the measure of arc RS divided by 360 times pi r squared. Okay, so our arc is 300. So 300 divided by 360 times pi, our radius is 10. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is simplify this fraction, 300 over 360, which simplifies down to 5/6. And then 10 squared, 10 times 10 is 100 pi. Okay, and then we're going to multiply the 5/6 and 100 together, and we get a gross decimal, so I'm going to turn that to a fraction, and we get 250 over 3 pi, and that is feet squared. Okay, so a lot of this is just simplifying the fractions down with the information that you have. Okay, one more time, so we have the measure of the arc divided by 360 times pi r squared. Okay, so I put the arc in, which is 75 degrees over 360 times pi radius squared. Okay, I'm going to simplify this fraction, which is 5 over 24. times 13 squared is 169 pi. Okay, and then you multiply your fraction and number together. 5 over 24 times 169 is a gross decimal, so turned it to a fraction. So this is a really gross fraction, but it's what we got. So 845 over 22, or 24 pi centimeters squared. Okay, and that is all you do.